So we've all heard the phrase IGL be thrown about within Apex Legends and other competitive games. Now you might think to yourself, what does IGL mean? IGL means in-game leader, and it is exactly what it says on the tin. IGL is a person who takes control and is the leader of the group. Now you might be wondering, how do people become an IGL? How would you become an IGL? And what do you need to do to become an IGL? Well, I've got you, and that's what we're going in through today's video. Hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Dominate, and welcome to the channel. I post every other day to help you become an Apex legend. So who comes to mind when we speak about IGL? Maybe it's Imperial Hal, maybe it's NRG Sweet, or maybe it's someone completely different. IGLs are so important to winning games, and especially competitive games. If you've ever watched the IGL either from the Apex Legends stream or from a stream from someone else who's actually playing within the competition, you will hear the amount of communication that will be going on, and what you'll start to figure out is that this is mainly one person. Now, the IGL doesn't have to be the best mechanical player on your team. It could be for a couple other reasons. Could be the most confident person on your team. They might not have the best aim, but their game sense is amazing. So to figure out who's the IGL within your group, you need to start thinking about these things. Who is the most confident player on your team? Who has the best game sense on your team? Once you found this person, then make sure you give them the role, if they're up to it, to being the IGL. They need to be the leader. They need to be the person giving out all the comms. Maybe IGL isn't the way to go for your team. In a lot of cases, even my case, my group doesn't really have an IGL. We're all the same rank, we all know the game equally well, and we kind of go off group decisions. If 2 out of 3 of our team is fully decked up and ready to fight, and 2 of us are really wanting to get that KP, but our one teammate lands and gets absolute naff loot, then we make a group decision not to fight, because it just will become a 2v3. So when you don't have an IGL, you need to know that every decision that you make needs to be a team decision. So maybe being an IGL or having an IGL on your team isn't the way to go. You all make group decisions together. What are some of the callouts that IGL needs to be calling? This is quite a big thing to understand and know when 1, becoming an IGL, or 2, assigning that role to someone else. One of the biggest things that an IGL can call out is whether to fight or not. As we all know, if we go into a fight and it messes up, that's it. That's the game over. You have to restart. Now, if this is in a competitive game, you got to lose a hell of a lot of RP. Obviously, depending on what rank you are. They really need to think very carefully on what fights to take. Because as I said, one mistake and the game's over and you have to restart, and you're going to lose a lot of RP. And if you're in a tournament, money is on the line, so every decision that you make can affect your income. So the IGL needs to be calling out each and every fight that they want to take. Not only that, if the IGL is really confident that we should take that fight, then you take it. And if you take it, then it's that IGL's role to make the decision that if the fight isn't going their way, to dip. The IGL needs to understand that they don't have to overcommit. They are allowed to run away. The one big thing of becoming an IGL is that you get praised so much for getting them good plays and good callouts, but you gotta get a lot of stick if you mess the game up. If you push a fight, but you're certain that you want to carry on pushing and committing to that fight, and you die, you're probably going to get a lot of backlash from that from your teammates. So the IGL has to be very aware that it's not just them who they're putting on the line, they're putting their teammates on the line too. So the IGL needs to be calling out fights. Not only that, rotations. It even goes so in depth to the point where if you run up and there's a building in your way, do you go to the left, do you go to the right, or do you use something like a jump tower? These are all really important things. If you push to the right and there's a choke point to the right, you're most likely going to get pushed or beaten from the people who are already camping that. Maybe to the left is all cover, and if you push down there, you're most likely going to get through scot-free. These are all things that the IGL needs to be taking into account of. Maybe when you go to push that building and each side is contested, taking the jump tower is the best decision. The IGL needs to be calling these out. Yes, your teammates might think that, but if you're an IGL, you need to be certain that this is the best decision for your team. If it's not, well, you've just run the game away for your whole team. Rotations go very in depth though. Whether you take a trident, but your IGL's like, no, it's too loud, that's a really good point. Because it's got to attract some enemies. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe your teammates are like, right, let's not take the trident because it's too loud. But you're the IGL, you have control of the team. You say, let's get in this trident and get to the ring as quickly as possible. You know what I mean? Each and every decision has their own risk, and the IGL needs to be the one at the forefront of that. So the IGL needs to be calling out fights, they need to be calling out rotations. They also need to be the most confident within the team and have a pretty good amount of game sense. So really that's what it takes to become an in-game leader in IGL, is the confidence, the game sense, and the ability to take control and tell your teammates what to do. But there are two different types of IGL, and we're going to talk about some in real game ones here. We're going to talk about Imperial Hal, and we're going to talk about NRG Suite. The big difference here is that Imperial Hal just makes the decisions on what team to focus, what teams to fight, what rotations to take to. Now NRG Suite does this, but he takes it to a whole new level and tells his teammates directly what to do. So Imperial Hal just assumes that his teammates know what to do and when to do it. NRG Suite goes to the point where he's telling his teammates when to bubble. He's telling his teammates when they should Valkyrie. All of these things, he's even telling them when they should be healing. So Imperial Hal's way is very effective because he knows how good his teammates are. He's allowing his teammates basically to do what they want, when they want, as long as they listen to Hal's commands. And if they listen to what he has to say, then we all know TSM's track record. Imperial Hal is known as one of the best players and the best IGL. At the moment, TSM are at a little bit of a down, just because Imperial Hal's been doing this for a long time now, and it takes a lot of effort to become the IGL. But even so, if you look at their track record, TSM has won hundreds of thousands of dollars through the ALGS and other tournaments. And this clearly shows that what Imperial Hal has to say works for the team. Now let's go back to you for a second. So you've clicked on this video because you want to become an IGL. You want to become that in-game leader. You want to take your team to the next level. Are you going to become an Imperial Hal? Or are you going to become an NRG Suite? For this, I think you need to take your teammates' skill level into consideration. Are your teammates good? Now, yes, they're your teammates. You're most likely friends with them in real life. But be honest with yourself. Are they good? Are you better than them? Or are you like me, where everyone in your team is kind of around the same skill level? You're all the same rank and you all know what to do. In that case, I think if you all know what to do and you know that your teammates are good and they can stand for themselves, then you want to become an Imperial Hal. You want them to do what they want. You want them to have the freedom of doing what they want when they want. But as soon as you see something that you know needs capitalizing on, you tell your teammates and they do it. But let's say you are like the best player on your team. You have the best game sense. You have the best mechanical skill. And the most confident too. You truly believe to yourself that you are better than your teammates, then you need to be the one kicking them in gear. If you want to take your team to the next level and you're trying to improve everyone together, then you want to become an NRG Suite. Like I say, everything that Suite says his teammates do, including ultimates, heals, tacticals, all of these things. He tells his teammates to do it, and they do it, and they've been playing exceptionally well. I mean, NRG for Apex is one of the biggest orgs in the world, and NRG Suite is at the top of this. So if you try to take your team to the next level and try to get them better and you better at the same time, then you want to become an NRG Suite. That's the content of this video, guys. If you found this video helpful and or entertaining in any way, shape or form, then make sure you go down below and leave a like. And whilst you're down there, you might as well subscribe to be entered into the next subscriber shoutout. And whilst you're down there, you might as well go into my pinned comment down below and join the community Discord. Thank you guys so much for 1.3k subscribers. We are literally about to hit 1.4 now. It's been less than a week. Thank you guys so much for your support recently. It means the absolute world to me. And once again, it's been my pleasure. And until next time, keep dominating, legends.